Homelessness is no longer merely a social concern, it has evolved into a profound global crisis, one that affects millions worldwide, including in some of the most developed nations. Even countries in Europe, traditionally known for their advanced social systems, are grappling with this escalating issue. Despite their wealth and robust welfare frameworks, the rate of homelessness in European nations has risen sharply in recent years, with individuals facing significant challenges related to housing, living conditions, and the lack of adequate economic and social support systems. Homeless people are subjected to relentless hardships, including the absence of safe and stable housing, dire living conditions, and the persistent struggle for basic survival. Each day presents new challenges they must overcome. Today, we will explore the top 10 European countries grappling with the highest rates of homelessness, not just presenting a ranking, but highlighting the urgent need for awareness and action. This is a crucial first step toward sustainable, long-term solutions that can truly address this pressing issue. Let us begin with Belgium, where homelessness has become a heartbreaking societal crisis. Over the past 3 years, the number of homeless individuals in Belgium has surged, with an estimated 20,000 people resorting to sleeping outdoors or seeking temporary shelter. However, this figure only scratches the surface, as many others remain uncounted in official statistics. Those who rely on the goodwill of friends and family due to an inability to access the housing market. So, what are the underlying causes driving this rise? A key factor is the widening gap between wages and living costs. Low-income workers in Belgium face soaring rents and increasing living expenses, making it nearly impossible to secure stable housing. Additionally, many individuals lack savings or emergency funds to weather unexpected setbacks such as job loss or medical emergencies, particularly in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. A staggering number of homeless people belong to vulnerable societal groups, with nearly a third of the homeless population being women and approximately 1/4 being children. Despite efforts by Belgian authorities to establish temporary shelter systems, the situation remains unresolved. Even with these support facilities in place, thousands of individuals are left waiting, and the number of homeless people continues to grow daily. This paints a grim picture of the nation's worsening housing crisis. The harshest trials, however, are the brutal winter nights. Temperatures in Belgium can plummet to 7 degrees Celsius, and without reliable shelter, homeless individuals must endure the bitter cold, desperately seeking ways to stay warm. While many people enjoy the comforts of heated homes, the homeless must wage a daily battle for survival. Yet, in the midst of these trials, there are acts of humanity that shine. In Brussels, for example, a 7-meter caravan, typically used by affluent families for leisure trips, has been repurposed as a mobile shower unit. This van, which circulates the city 3 times a week, offers the homeless a chance to clean themselves, with a small group of volunteers providing essential services such as hot showers, donated clothes, and over-the-counter medicine. Despite Belgium's social welfare programs, homelessness remains a persistent issue. Financial aid may provide short-term relief, but it does not offer the comprehensive support necessary for long-term recovery. The government must consider more holistic approaches, including long-term assistance and robust social integration programs to help individuals secure stable employment and housing. Belgium could draw valuable lessons from other countries that have successfully addressed homelessness, focusing not only on providing housing but also on helping the homeless reintegrate into society and rebuild their lives. The key takeaway here is that, despite the complexities of homelessness, sustainable solutions are possible through collaborative efforts from the government, social organizations, and local communities. Together, we can protect the basic rights of every citizen and help them rebuild a life of dignity and stability. Turning our focus to Sweden, a country often associated with exemplary social welfare and a high standard of living, we find a troubling reality that challenges the idealistic image. As of 2023, approximately 27,400 people in Sweden are without stable housing, including individuals who lost their jobs due to the pandemic, immigrants struggling to integrate, and families pushed to the margins by soaring housing prices. In Sweden, homelessness is not confined to those sleeping on the streets. It also includes those who must live temporarily in shelters or rely on family and friends. The reasons behind this crisis are multifaceted. The ever-rising prices of real estate in major cities, coupled with a lack of available land for new construction, have exacerbated the housing shortage. Despite Sweden's wealth, the rental market primarily caters to higher income groups, with rental prices well beyond the reach of average workers. As a result, securing a stable home has become an insurmountable challenge for many people. Although the Swedish government has implemented various measures to address the housing shortage, it continues to struggle with balancing the urgent needs of its citizens with the nation's financial constraints. However, there is hope. Many non-governmental organizations and local communities have stepped in to support the homeless, providing not only shelter and free meals but also opportunities for education and employment. These initiatives help restore a sense of dignity and purpose, enabling individuals to stabilize and eventually secure a place to call home. Behind every statistic lies a human story, a person whose dreams have been deferred by economic forces. It is up to us to understand this reality, for only through deeper empathy and concerted efforts can we begin to change it. This is not just a Swedish problem, it is a global issue that demands our collective action. In Ireland, a country known for its lush landscapes and strong sense of community, a sobering crisis is unfolding. In April 2024, Ireland reported approximately 14,000 homeless individuals, marking a 14% increase over the past year. However, this figure only includes those fortunate enough to access emergency housing and temporary shelters. Countless others remain unseen, each with their own tragic story: children deprived of care, women struggling to protect their families, and dreams crushed under the weight of modern life. The Irish government has pledged to increase housing supply, but the real question remains: will these changes come fast enough to meet the urgent needs of the homeless population? This is not merely a policy issue, it is a matter of humanitarian concern and social responsibility. Ireland's situation demands a coordinated effort from the government, social organizations, and citizens. Every small action, whether it's supporting charities or raising awareness, can make a significant difference. By working together, we can help ensure that no one is left behind in a country that values both prosperity and compassion. Homelessness in France remains a deeply ingrained issue, despite the country's wealth and robust social systems. In 2023, over 300,000 people were reported to be homeless in France. The rise in homelessness can be attributed to increasing housing prices, particularly in major cities like Paris, where rental costs are disproportionately high compared to average wages. Immigrants, young people, and those recovering from mental health struggles make up a significant portion of the homeless population. The French government has taken some steps, such as the Housing First policy, but these solutions are still insufficient to address the root causes. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and volunteers provide critical support, but a long-term, systematic approach is essential to reduce homelessness effectively. Germany is one of Europe's economic powerhouses, but homelessness continues to climb, with roughly 300,000 people experiencing homelessness in 2023. The country has a well-established welfare system, but the rising cost of housing, especially in cities like Berlin and Munich, has created a significant housing shortage. High demand and low supply are compounded by the scarcity of affordable housing for low-income individuals and families. Many Germans face housing insecurity, which exacerbates the homelessness crisis. The government has introduced housing subsidies and temporary shelters, but there is still a need for more comprehensive support systems, including reintegration programs to help people rebuild their lives. The UK has one of the highest homelessness rates in Europe, with over 280,000 people living in temporary accommodation, rough sleeping, or in other forms of unstable housing. This includes not only rough sleepers but also those in hidden homelessness, people temporarily staying with friends or family. The crisis is driven by rising rents, the lack of affordable housing, and cuts to social housing programs. Many individuals find themselves living on the streets due to job losses, mental health problems, or domestic violence. The UK government has made efforts to address this with emergency housing schemes, but long-term solutions are lacking, and the issue is intensifying as housing affordability continues to spiral out of control. Spain's homelessness crisis is worsened by the economic challenges facing many citizens. As of 2023, over 40,000 individuals are estimated to be homeless, with the numbers rising each year. High unemployment rates, coupled with exorbitant rent prices in cities like Madrid and Barcelona, have left many unable to find permanent housing. The impact of the 2008 financial crisis, which led to austerity measures, still echoes in the lives of many Spaniards. Temporary shelters exist but are overcrowded, and there is a lack of long-term housing solutions. The Spanish government has been criticized for its inability to provide effective social housing programs, which has left many vulnerable people without the help they need. Homelessness in Italy has been steadily increasing, with more than 50,000 individuals estimated to be living without stable housing. Although Italy is renowned for its social services, the rapid rise in housing costs, particularly in urban areas such as Rome and Milan, has made it increasingly difficult for the working class to afford rent. The country also faces challenges with migrants and refugees, who often find themselves without proper housing. Local authorities and organizations provide shelter, but these resources are not sufficient to meet the growing demand. Economic instability, combined with a lack of affordable housing, has exacerbated the homelessness crisis in Italy. In Greece, the homelessness issue has worsened due to the economic instability caused by the country's debt crisis and austerity measures. The number of homeless individuals has significantly increased in the past decade, with an estimated 40,000 people living on the streets or in precarious conditions. Many of these individuals are survivors of Greece's economic downfall, with high unemployment rates and increasing poverty. The crisis has also affected vulnerable groups such as migrants, refugees, and families with children. The Greek government and NGOs are working to provide temporary shelters and support, but homelessness remains a critical issue that needs comprehensive reform, especially in terms of social housing and employment opportunities. Finally, in Serbia, a country with a rich cultural heritage, the homelessness crisis has become impossible to ignore. According to the 2022 census, over 18,000 individuals in Serbia are homeless, with an additional 168,000 at risk of losing their homes. A primary driver of this crisis is the soaring cost of living, which far exceeds the average income, making housing unaffordable for many. Legal changes have only compounded the problem, as laws enacted in 1992 halted public housing projects, and a 2016 law made evictions easier, leaving low-income individuals vulnerable to displacement. This raises important questions about the government's role in protecting the basic rights of its citizens. In the face of this growing crisis, the mayor of Belgrade recently stated that the increasing homelessness in the city is a sign of urban development. Yet, this perspective overlooks the human cost of progress. As Serbia grapples with these challenges, it must adopt policies that prioritize affordable housing and the protection of its most vulnerable citizens. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated with more exciting content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified every time we upload new videos.